Welcome back, everybody. Another week of the Jets debacles, another loss. Uh, Nothing has really changed, so to me, it's not too shocking. The only thing is that I did a podcast, video podcast, a couple of days earlier, a little bit of sarcastic one about the first interview after the bye week with Coach Olbich, talking about how they kind of have it figured out now, and they made some corrections. And me sarcastically saying, "Wait till you see the Jets this week. They got it figured out. They made some adjustments. Aaron Rodgers is the healthiest he's been since week one." And what do I see when I put the game on? Basically, the Jets' first drive was 3-and-out. And before I get too long-winded, Eddie, hit it. Tell me what you think, and we'll get into this.
Well, it was an interesting thing. I thought that they, I thought they had a shot. We talked about this. I thought they had a shot at winning this game because, the West Coast teams on the East Coast on the 1 o'clock slot, usually it's, they usually have some trouble sometimes. Maybe a little distracted, flying across country, Thanksgiving week too. So I thought they just might have a shot at this game, and then they started off okay. And I know the first 3-and-out the first drive, but then they held Seattle at 3-and-out the next drive. Then they scored a touchdown, missed the extra point. Then they're up 14-0. It's 14-7. Then they're 21-7. It's 21-7. Then they're driving and they're on I said, wow, it's going to be 28-7. Dave is going to be happy. I thought of you. I said, Dave is going to get that blowout win that he wanted. Yeah. And sure enough, Leonard Williams with an interception. Yeah. More people. A Jet and Giant getting his first touchdown, right? I think that was his first touchdown, but it was like, here it comes. And then that was it. The offense from that point on did nothing.
Yeah.
And then they it was the bend not break defense for a while, and then they had a couple of decent stands. They had a fourth down that they stopped them on 4th and goal, right? And then
that was good.
Then it just ended. Then it just went a typical Jet loss. They couldn't make the big plays when they needed to make the big plays, and the offense just went to sleep after that interception. It seemed like.
Well, I'm glad you had that take on it, especially the take on what you thought I was thinking. And I'm glad that you said that, because I really wasn't thinking that at all. I'm thinking that the Jets had one touchdown the entire game. They had one 11-play, 80-yard drive. Other than that, they did nothing. So even if the Jets would have won that game, and I'm a hardcore fan, unlike other fans, a win is a win. No, I want to go to Super Bowl. I want to win playoff games. I'm like, even if they win this game, I have no confidence. This is basically they're playing a 500 team at home. They should win by a lot. I'm being a little sarcastic here. So the fact that I believe the Jets only scored one legit touchdown, the other one was a fumble in the red zone that they recovered. Mm-hmm. One was a kickoff or punt return, whatever it was. So I'm thinking like the Jets scored one offensive touchdown basically with a drive. That's what I'm thinking. So even if they would have happened to win that game, I would probably be a little upset or say to myself, well, they're not beating a team up, like the Steelers or the Chiefs, and they're not going anywhere, So that was my opinion on it. And once again, I keep thinking that the Jets are going to do better. I really, really am done with that thought. I know it's over. Aaron Rodgers, unless Woody Johnson calls up and says bench Aaron Rodgers, this is just like the Brett Favre thing. They're going to say that Aaron Rodgers was hurt all year. I know that's what's going to happen. But he is not playing. Tyrod Taylor has to be better than Aaron Rodgers at this point.
Taylor's not the future, so I have no problem with running Rodgers.
Neither is Aaron. Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers in the future either. So
agreed. But you invest all this money. Might as well see if you can win a couple of games for you. You basically built a team around. You put in Devontae Adams for him. I just feel like Taylor's not the answer. You got to they had a young quarterback on the bench, maybe give him a look, but you got to ride this to the bitter end. That's how I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, the thing is that Rodgers isn't playing well. I don't know if he's going to play well. Woody Johnson could be pissed enough to stick it to Rodgers after what he had Rodgers do to the whole Jet organization and say, bench him. He's not coming back next year anyway. F him, bench him, put in Tyrod Taylor. We're out of the playoffs. That's it. Embarrass him because of what he did to the Jets, talking the big game and bringing all these players on and everything else. He has done nothing. And this is what I was saying. But before Aaron Rodgers came here, I wasn't a big fan of his attitude. And then during the press conferences before he started playing, he was like, "Oh, he's kind of nice and friendly. I kind of like him now." Now that he's losing, his true colors are showing, where he's blaming people and pointing fingers. This is the Aaron Rodgers that I didn't like, and this is what his real character is. And I'm like, good riddance. Start all over again. I got to wait 5, 10 years if I'm alive to see the Jets win, but I'm done.
No, I'm. This is a 2 years, 2 year disaster. I was like I said last week. They were always laughing at what we said. Was it 13-4 or 14-3? We had him at one point in the beginning of the season. Look, going through that
Yeah,
now.
yeah, on
Can he
paper,
win a
right?
game?
The paper champions, you know,
The
the
thing is, can
paper
he win a game
champions.
now?
I just, I tell you, I'm very guilty of believing, or I did believe, that Aaron Rodgers was going to be the best coach, better than Obich, better than Salah, and he was going to be able to fix issues with the team with his experience and everything like that, and give suggestions. And listen, I don't blame Woody Johnson, and I don't blame Joe Douglas, because every expert before the season started and going back to last year said, "Oh my God, they're doing everything possible. They have a loaded team, and now they're losing. They fire this one, they blame it." Everybody knew this was a great idea. If you look back on it, we thought we had the best running back, the best wide receiver, the best corner. I mean,
No,
best
agreed.
quarterback. So nobody don't. Some of these guys are going back on it now. No, everybody thought this was a great idea, and nobody has an answer for why this is happening or how it happened, and it's bizarre. It's
It
bizarre.
is bizarre. It's the curse of the Jets. I mean, it
Yeah,
really is.
it's
I think it's the
bizarre.
curse of the Jets.
It's absolutely bizarre. We got Miami next week and
Jacksonville the week after that.
Jacksonville after that, but it's over. And what happens? I was going to say we all know how different this is going to be next season, but I'm curious to see, like, once they're officially eliminated from the playoffs, then they'll have the excuse to maybe put in Tyrod Taylor and invest Aaron Rodgers. They'll call it they're resting him. Who knows? But I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to play every game for the rest of the year.
That's an excellent point. We'll see. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't
yeah,
know what's in their heads. I mean, it's
yeah,
I would play him because you have no one else at this point and you invested so much in, let him win at least a couple of games. But I don't know. That's an excellent point.
yeah.
It's gonna
I
happen.
mean, if you think about it, Ed, if he knows he's not coming back next year, and if he wants to play football again, he's not going to want to take the chance on getting hurt.
But he
So
may want to finish strong and say, "Hey, listen, when I healed up a little bit, I had a good run. Maybe he
yeah,
wants to show other teams that he still has something left in the tank."
I'm glad you said that, because yes, I agree with you 1,000%. But I think it's getting to the point now where he realizes he can't finish strong. That's another thing. He might just cut his losses now. Like, I mean, he's missing passes. He's throwing pick
It's funny
sixes.
because he missed Garrett Wilson in the end zone that time,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he threw a couple of nice balls to Devontae
He
Adams.
did. He
It's
did. He
interesting.
did.
It's interesting that there's the good and the bad in there. So
Yeah,
as you said earlier, it's mind boggling.
yeah. And to be fair, there was a pass that he completed, and I was watching the game with my son saying, "This is why this is a great quarterback. We're not used to having a quarterback that's accurate like that." He has his moments, but
But they're few and far
I,
between those
I
moments.
think he's hurt, and he's going to say he was playing hurt. I mean, I know I can see this all coming down the pike, how this is going to work
I
out.
can't wait to see this when it's over. What they're going to say? What's this?
Yeah,
When he parts
yeah,
ways with the Jets, what
yeah.
he's going to say?
The changes are going to be just off the charts, off the charts.
You're gonna have to blow it up and start again.
I mean,
I
you're
mean, they're even
talking.
talking about. I think everyone
No,
could be moved, right? They could trade
I
Garrett
just
Wilson for some picks.
I just realized it's not only going to be a head coach and a GM. It might also be, well, it's probably going to be an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, you head coach
Yeah,
usually brings in who
and
wants to bring
a
in.
quarterback. I mean, it's
It's
everything.
a whole new system. Yeah, because usually a coach is allowed to bring in his people, and that's what's going to
And
happen.
you know what the funny thing is? As of this moment, because anything can change, with all those changes taking place next season, they can't be any worse. That's what they can't be any worse.
Well, we could always go back to like the one in 15 Rich Kotite here, and we'll see next season.
Yeah, I mean, because I just don't see this team, and the coaching. I think was that fourth down play where they thought we were going to the Seahawks were going to punt, and they didn't punt. They had 12 men on the field. I
Yep.
mean, the coaching. I
The
mean, it's
penalties, it's
just
just it's sloppy.
uh,
They take too many penalties. They run the clock down too much. It's not a well coached. It doesn't appear to be to me a well coached team.
But Ed, I was guilty of thinking that every week they're going to learn something and there's going to be improvement. And for some strange reason nobody can understand or explain, it just hasn't happened.
Agreed. No,
It's almost as if the team is sabotaging the coach or something. It's like it just there's no really excuse or reason for it. It's just totally crazy.
my son actually said to me earlier today when we were having dinner, and he was right. He goes,
Yeah.
is this the most disappointing
Mm,
Jet team that you've experienced? And I said, thinking about, I mean, I was thinking
yeah.
maybe the Rich Kotite 1-15 team. I said, you know what? But there were such high hopes for this team. You're right. This is probably the most
Yeah.
disappointing
Yeah.
Jet team I've experienced in my sad life as a
Yeah.
Jet fan.
I mean, we have probably very similar longevity with the Jets, and we spent many years saying, "Hey, we don't have a running back, we don't have a receiver, we don't have a quarterback." I
That
mean,
wasn't the case this year.
and
As you said,
yeah,
defense was
yeah,
solid. We thought,
and I mean, now I'm gonna have to do something. I mean, not that I've never done it before, but I'm gonna have to say coaching has got to be a factor because the Houston Texans last year with a rookie quarterback and a rookie coach made it to the playoffs. I was also looking. I looked at some stats just to be sure. The Patriots won 11 AFC championships in a row. Are you going to tell me that for 11 years they had the best offensive line or they drafted offensive linemen? I mean, I'm sick of excuses. I don't want to hear any more
you had a
excuses.
great quarterback and you had a coach who worked around what he had, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
basically, they worked that's a great coach and a great quarterback, and
yeah.
they worked around it. They overcame their shortcomings.
It's a great template.
It's
It's something that other teams should look at. Well, especially the Jets, because obviously it's not just about having talent. But I mean, eh, everybody's underperforming, and yeah, I mean, we're gonna watch the games and we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna enjoy it, but
well, at least I'm not going to be disappointed because I'm expecting nothing to happen. So I'm not going to, at
right,
least like
right,
yesterday, I was kind of, I was expecting when it was, like I said, when it was 21-7, they were going in the end zone. Oh, look, they're finally clicking. And
yeah.
then,
Well, like I said, so we'll finish up the season and we'll talk about it, and
yeah,
you know,
you can see
uh,
any improvement on any level whatsoever, which we haven't seen. So we'll see.
yeah, and that's it. I mean, there's not really too much more to say that has been said by every single sportscast and every other video podcaster on YouTube. Everybody's on the same page with this because there's no other way to go. It's a disaster. It's a disappointment, and
Really is.
now we just look to what happens at the end of the year and next year, and it is what it is. All right, until next week, Ed.
All right, Dave. Thanks for having me again.
You got it. Be well.